ce la posso fare. I can do this. Okay. Hello, this is me. This is Martina Baglialima on Instagram and Ravelry, and this is Knitting in Italy, my podcast where I talk about knitting, of course, and in Italy, as I'm in Italy and I'm Italian. I live in Milano. Knitting is my hobby and my passion. It's been a while, and how are you? How are you doing? I've been knitting quite a lot. We spoke in a different world. It's not a long time, but a lot of things happen globally. It's never ending lately. Okay, the cat decided to enter right now. I have to go and check on him. Just give me 1 second. I can immediately start with the digressions since I live in Milano, but I live in the suburbs, and I have a house with a garden, and I'm very glad I have it. I love my house, and it's beautiful, and more than anything I could ever desire for myself and for my family. But lately, even if we have not one but 2 cats, we had a little mouse, or maybe 2 inside. I'm not a fan. I'm really not a fan, and we are taking all the steps that we need to take, but the door must be closed. But the door is not closed because the cats need to move back and forth. It's not closed with the key, so I have to go and open it. Standard cat owner life problems. If you have a cat, you will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, back to the knitting. I skipped, one installment of this podcast, in favor of my Italian podcast, Parliamo di Maglia. That literally means let's talk about knitting. And so I have a little more to tell you, and I want to start with something that really sparked the discussion in the Italian podcast, and it's this little scarf here. You may recognize it as a version of the Sophie scarf by Knit.it. I have to tell you, I didn't follow her pattern. I just took some inspiration, and we were discussing in the Italian podcast about this because I wanted to hear some opinions on how you deal with something that you see and you know that you can do it and you can make your own version of it, but since you can do it, you don't want to maybe buy the pattern, especially if it's a huge name like Petit Knit. So I actually, just did it. It's a different yarn, it's different needle size. It's my own interpretation of this kind of construction. And I had many opinions. It was really a good, discussion subject. And the one that I feel that was, closer to what I experienced, and that was really clarifying how I was feeling about this thing, was the one by Francesca Caricato, and she has a podcast in Italian and in English as well. I suggest you check her out. And she left a very, kind comment and thoughtful as her usual. She's one of the kindest person I know, and she told me, if you have the skill, why not doing it? The pattern is there if you have to follow it, if you need it. If you have the skill to do something, the pattern is no use, so why buying it? And I think that's what it's like for me. The pattern is something that it's available, that you can use if you cannot do it, or if you don't want to put your mind too much on something, but if you have the skill, you know, you can just go for it and do your own version. You know, it's the beauty of knitting, and it's something that I really felt that was how the spirit that I put in this little scarf for my daughter. I did it with some leftover yarn, and it's a strand of mohair from Lane Levy, and a strand of cotton, viscose, and linen flax mix from Livy Lane as well. And I really love the result. It's very soft, it's very fluffy, and she loves it. It's not yet the season. It's October, mid-October, and it's so very warm. We are, you know, in a way happy because with everything that's going on with the world, you know, the prices of energy going so much high. Yeah, it's good that the season is helping us. Still, you know, it's very humid. We still have a lot of mosquitoes, so I'm a bit, you know, I really don't know how I feel about all this. Other projects, I don't have a lot of finished objects. I have the Auckland soccer pattern by Stone Knits, Charlotte Stone, on my feet. I finished them and I wore them. It was my first stranded sock experience, and the lesson that I took from it is that I generally don't like mini circular needles, but for stranded knitting in a very small round, like for a sock, that was the best, you know, option. I got the best result. The tension was even, while with my usual magic loop I could not really, you know, obtain something that was satisfactory for me. I'm wearing them on my feet at the moment, and they are very warm. I'm wearing them in the house with my Birkenstocks inside. I have a few pair of Birkenstocks. And I have one that I use inside the house, and the combo is just the perfect, you know, house shoe. I don't have a lot of. I don't have any other, not a lot, any other finished object, but I'm checking my notes. I'm knitting with some determination on my Ranger cardigan. The Ranger cardigan is a pattern by Brooklyn Tweed, Jared Flood. I love their knits. It's a bit of a you cannot really, you know, see it at the moment because I'm mid-row also, but I was able to do all the short row shaping and to join the sleeves and the body here. It was a while since my last bottom-up knit, and I enjoy this style of knitting. It's I think I cannot really decide because it's hard for me to pick a favorite of anything. You know, my favorite thing is changing and doing something new. That's what I like about knitting. But yeah, I'm enjoying this very much. It's so simple. I'm doing it for my husband. I'm knitting it with the Gilliatt by the Rerum Natura. It's one of the most beautiful yarns I have ever used, and I love the color. It fits him perfectly, and I cannot wait to see him in this. I joke and I say that it's almost time for kindergarten for this because I started it in January, so it's 9 months old, you know. Whiny is over, and he needs to go to kindergarten now, so it's time to finish it. After 9 months, you know, it's enough time. As I was telling you, it's a beautiful pattern, beautifully designed, beautiful details, and very well explained, very well written. I love everything Brooklyn Tweed, and this is no exception. The fun in when you knit something bottom up is that, you know, it takes forever, and at a certain point you like break something, you go over, you know, a hill, and it's downhill from there. When you start the yoke shaping, you know, you are there for, you know, your home stretch. And I feel that after many months, you know, of picking it and leaving it, picking it, now it's really, you know, getting done. I'm getting there, and I love it. I'm enjoying this. I also started a few more projects, and I include in this my Nordiska. This is you will you know, ask yourself, what is this doing with the Nordiska? When I knit in the round, I usually try to do my sample in the round as well, and I did it for the Nordiska as well. This helps me with the tension, and also it gives me a very, you know, specific look on how the colors are working together. I think this is working quite good. And I also, you know, understand very well if I like the pattern or not, if it's good, you know, with me, with my skin. And then also, I don't like to do things just to do them. I like to have some, you know, something out of them. This is yeah, it's, yeah, now I have a nice cap, you know. I did my swatch, and I have a cap. I don't have a little square of something. I have something that I can use and I can wear. Can wear it with my new sweater. The yarn is Borgo de Pazzi Amore, I think, 160, that means 160. It's they have different numbers, the Amore, you know, range, depending on the weight of the yarn. So this is like the sport weight, but you get so much out of this yarn. I love it. It's the very special thing about this yarn is that it's completely recycled, and it's dyed. It's not dyed. It's the color comes from all the scraps, and when they spin it, it's already, you know, the color is already in this. This is important because the dyeing process is one of the most, you know, heavy in terms of resources. I'm almost done with the yoke. I have it here. The nice little, you know, very nice little braid here, and it's the first time I'm knitting something with a V-neck shaping from the top down. I did a vest for my father 1 or 2 years ago by Alice Starmore, and it was a stick and bottom up construction, so it was totally different. And as I told you, you know, I enjoy knitting always something new and learning always something new, so this is very interesting for me. The Nordiska is, I like it. I like the pattern a lot. I had it in me for a few years, so now it's good that it's getting done. And we will see how it comes out. I want to make it a bit cropped. We are going to see. Let me check my notes. Yes, I started a few new projects. Oh, here I have my nocciole yarn. I'm so happy. This is not started yet, but if you are going to be in Lonigo next week, no, this weekend for the Italian Yarn Festival, Knit.it, there is going to be a little, you know, stall where you can find this nocciole yarn that is a dream. It's by Giulia from Wool Done and Federica from Wool Crossing, and they call themselves the Le Woolen. I love this. It's Angora and wool mix. I'm going to knit a airy sweater with this yarn. I cannot wait to cast it on, but as you will see, I have quite a lot going on, as usual, as my usual. Here I have another, you know, yarn that maybe you didn't see. This is the Turin yarn. I bought it when Simple Things We Love, a very lovely yarn shop in the Italian Alps, shut down because they relocated, and I have it for Vertice United here by Steven West. I have a grayscale. This is an amazing yarn as well. I don't know if I showed you. I have the grayscale and then the accent color that is not really an accent, but it's this. I love this yarn. This is merino silk and ramier. It's a German yarn. It's I'm in love with this. I cannot wait to cast this on as well. Yeah, I have a lot of things that I want to cast on. Yes, you got me right. Here I have some socks, because you always have to have some pair of socks. This is the bit I did. They are a free pattern on Ravelry. It's just I really love a good, you know, ribbed sock. That's my favorite hand knit sock. That's the one that I will always, you know, reach to wear. So I'm making another pair of, you know, basic ribbed socks with some variation. It's a free pattern. You will find everything in the notes on my blog. So yeah, no, this is not it. No. Oh yes, it's up here. Another project that I was really procrastinating is the Night Shift by Andrea Mauri, and I'm doing it with some Loch Lomond, what's the brand, BC Garn, and with this Shopper Wool, the bit the heavier version of the Shopper Wool Zauberball. I think they work together quite well. I will see how it goes. I like the idea of having this very bright color on a changing, you know, more neutral background. You see it, I think you see it as a very shiny, while because of the light, but in reality is not that shiny. It's a bit more muted. Anyway, yeah, I'm rotating my project as my usual with the Gideon method, and now I will tell you, you know, the big one, that is of course the Mystery Calm by Steven West. So if you don't want any spoiler, even on the first clue, that is the only one that I have in the work as well right now, just, you know, skip. You have been warned. Now you will see my version of the Steven West Mystery Calm. Then I have here it is. Okay, yay. I didn't buy any yarn for this year version. Here it is. I'm almost done. I have to tell you, I love the effect. Steven, you know, it's Steven, and you have to love him or you have to, you know, hate him. With the mystery, the first one was last year for me, and this is my second. And what I understood is that you have really to embrace the process and try to not, you know, think too much about it, but just go with it. And I'm doing it, but it's a very long clue for me, this one, with all the cast on and cast off, and yeah, it's just never ending. I'm using this Shetland yarn that is from Gathered Ship Yarn. I got it from my mother a while ago, and I'm using as a main color this French yarn that is boucle à laine, and it's merino and angora, sourced in France. It's a beautiful, beautiful yarn. I got it in Grenoble from Lana et Tricot. It's an amazing shop. I highly recommend it. It's one of the best shops I've ever been there. I've ever been, and Anna is super, you know, kind, and just lovely experience. I had many doubts about the contrasting color. I had so many options from my stash, and in the end, seeing clue number 2, that, you know, I cannot reveal to you because I haven't started yet. This, you know, burgundy, that was not my first choice. You see it very red, but it's darker. I have a lot of light because I don't have much light yet left, much natural light, and I think this is going to be my contrast color accent, because it's in the same family of this very light pink. I can see in the preview, you know, little square, that they don't look like they work together very well, but in reality I think they do. And yeah, so this is my twist and turn mystery shawl, and this is all I've been knitting, and all I've been, you know, doing. I hope to see some of you in Lonigo next week. This month I'm also skipping the Milano Parliamo di Maglia Knit Club. If you want to come, you are more than welcome. I speak English, and some of the attendants speak English as well, so feel free to join. And I always try to make an announcement a bit in advance, and usually we, you know, bounce back and forth, suburbs more center, but I actually understood that there are a few knitters, you know, in my surroundings, in my neighborhood, so I really like to give back to my neighborhood, and, you know, to keep it alive. So it's a real pleasure for me to also do the knit club here, and yeah, so I think that's it. I just wanted to tell you about Wool-It, the magazine. The magazine is in the works. We had a bit of a setback for some bureaucratical issues, but we are getting there. So I hope in a couple of weeks we will be printing. I say this with a lot of emotion, and yeah, but we are getting there. We had a bit of a delay, but we are really doing it, and so stay tuned. It's coming. We hope, you know, you can be patient with us. It's our first experience and we are learning on the go so much, and yes, so that's the last thing I wanted to tell you. I hope to be able, to check out more knitting podcasts than what I have in the past. I have my screen time on YouTube on zero because I'm so busy all the time. I'm basically only listening to audio podcasts right now, or I watch some Netflix with my husband at night. I cannot force him to watch knitting podcasts, and but I want to get back in the habit, of connecting with all the creators and enjoying all these amazing inspiration. So that's it for this time on Knitting in Italy, and I hope to see you very, very soon. And ciao, ciao, ciao.